watching Daytime Tea Time with Candace. It's time to pour this tea, stir this tea, and sip this tea. Let's get right into it. Alright, you guys, we're about to talk about comedian and Oscar winner Monique, as well as Oprah Winfrey. Now, as you all know, Oprah hosted the Leaving Neverland special, where she interviewed 3 of Michael Jackson's alleged victims. 3 men spoke to Oprah and talked about years of alleged sexual molestation with Michael Jackson. There are a lot of people who have been dragging Oprah, basically saying that she is trying to kill Michael Jackson's legacy. People felt like Oprah was taking part in tearing down Michael Jackson's legacy, number one, because she is interviewing his alleged victims, but also because on her Oprah magazine Instagram, they put up this post saying, "It's time to say goodbye to Michael Jackson one last time." And in the caption, they wrote this long caption where they talked about oprahmagazine.com's digital director, Ariana, being such a huge Michael Jackson fan until Oprah and Leaving Neverland convinced her to let go of the king of pop. So this is Oprah Magazine Instagram putting it out there to the world that it's time to say goodbye to Michael Jackson and to let go of him as the king of pop, based on the words of 3 alleged victims who have at one time admitted under oath that they were lying on Michael Jackson. So needless to say, people are very upset at Oprah Winfrey for participating in interviewing these alleged victims. Comedian Monique is one of many who have a problem with Oprah participating in this Leaving Neverland interview. Check out what Monique had to say, and then I'm coming back with some more.
Oprah Winfrey Neverland interview. Was it right, or was it for ratings? For me, to watch that. And this man has been gone for over 10 years. And not only is he gone, he was found not guilty. He was found not guilty. And in my humble opinion, when you have a black man that is brought up on charges for sexually molesting children, and white children, it was almost a feeling of, we're gonna get him. And when they came back and said, y'all, there's no proof, there's no evidence that this man did anything to anyone. We have got to throw this out of here. Then when the guy goes back in 2014 to try to do a lawsuit, they say, listen, we gotta throw this out of here. So here's a man that was found not guilty in the eyes of the law. In the eyes of the law, and you wait for 10 years after this man is deceased to now do an interview with people that said they lied. For me, it's sad and disheartening. You had, that man welcomed you in his home, and you spoke of how beautiful and all the love this man has shown children all over the world.
Monique went forward and she shared her own experience where her brother sexually molested her. And then she shared her thoughts on alleged victims coming against their predators who are no longer alive. She revealed that she actually had 2 other predators who are no longer alive. And since they are no longer alive, she does not mention their names. So she feels that because Michael Jackson is dead and cannot speak up for himself, these alleged victims on the Leaving Neverland special should not be talking about Michael Jackson after he is dead, let alone getting interviewed by Oprah. Check out what Monique had to say.
And I want to address too, when with calling someone a molester and they're no longer here. And with these guys, Michael Jackson is not here to defend himself, which is a major problem, because once he's been found not guilty, once from my understanding from the caller, when the FBI says we found nothing, then you come back and you allow these 2 men to get on your platform and tell this story, and that man cannot defend himself. Who does that?
And when Monique communicates that with you, she's coming from a place of experience. Because, you know, this is Monique and Sydney's open relationship. So what good is it if you have the information and we not being open with the community to share it?
Come on.
You all know that Monique identified Gerald, who was her older brother, or who is her older brother that molested her when she was a child. What you may not have known is he also had taken her down the street. And there were 2 other young men who molested her, who were friends of his, that happened to be brothers. They have since deceased for some years, which is part of the reason why you never knew or ever heard about their name, because they've met their proverbial maker. Their end is here, and to bring them up when they cannot defend themselves. See, she spoke in reference to Gerald. We speak truth to power as it pertains to Oprah, Lee, Tyler, Will, Packer, individuals that have the ability to confront us and deal with us directly, not someone who is no longer living,
right,
that can't defend themselves, because that, excuse no pun intended, is overkill, because that man is not here. And when you are acquitted, how do you retry someone in the court of public opinion who cannot challenge or dispute what it is that they're claiming?
Which is why I didn't say it. And I never will say it about those 2 men, because their families had nothing to do with that.
When they were boys.
When they were boys, their families would be paying a price for something that they had nothing to do with. So that's why for me, I would never say their names. I didn't say it while they were alive. So that is done.
It's done.
Because they're gone. Because they can't be in a position to say, no, Monique, that didn't happen. No, Monique, that's not true. So to put our brother Michael Jackson and to, I'll say, try to taint that man's legacy, and he can't defend himself. Who does that?
Oprah.
All right, you guys, you heard that. So that's Monique's opinion, that when someone's dead, it doesn't really do any good to come out and make accusations about them because they're not here to defend themselves. Now, that's her opinion, which she is entitled to. Now, what I want to talk about is something that some people may have forgotten or may not just know, and it's actually a deep-rooted issue that Monique has with Oprah. Now, we know that Monique spoke about the fact that her brother had molested her. Now, I'm sure you guys can't imagine that that is a very sensitive subject for Monique. That's a subject that she did share with Oprah. Now, Oprah ended up interviewing that same brother that molested Monique. Monique did not like that because not only did she interview that brother, she also interviewed the entire family without Monique. There's a lot of details to that story that Monique does share, but Monique also shares that she ended up talking to that brother that molested her after over 17 years of not talking to him. He ended up apologizing to her, and he told her that Oprah gave him a different idea about what that interview was going to be. Check this out, and then I'm coming back with some more.
And I want to address, because people are putting in the room and making comments, when she had my family on her show.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Michael Jackson Neverland interview, I'm not surprised by it, because that woman has shown me who she is. Now, the brother that molested me, Gerald, he and I spoke, and we had not spoken in 17 years. And it was what, about 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
About 2 weeks ago. By the time he got finished talking to Sydney, he was extremely apologetic. Because in his rah-rah, my husband says to him, "Hey brother, I'm being nothing but a gentleman as I'm speaking to you. So what I would ask is that you take all of that out of your voice and let's talk to each other like 2 men. Gerald says to my husband, I really need to apologize to my sister. It's been 17 years since we talked, and I want to let her know I'm sorry for what I've done." He said, "Well, you don't have to tell me. Why don't you tell your sister?" And my brother and I got on that phone after 17 years because I had closed myself off to him. And I said, I will never ever again speak to this man. And though I love my brother, I didn't think I would ever say those words to him again. But when we got on that phone and we began to talk, and it was the first time I've ever heard my brother speak from his heart. And my brother said, because they call me Nikki, "Nikki, I want to apologize for what I did to you. And I want to apologize for the damage it may have caused you in your life. That caught me off because I wasn't expecting that from my brother. And then we began to talk about when he went on the Oprah Winfrey show. And when my brother said, Oprah told me you were coming. So I'm thinking the whole time that I'm going to be able to see and talk to my sister. I didn't find out you were going to be there until I got there that morning. And then she said, oh, by the way, Monique is not coming. So, in my humble opinion, that woman manipulated my family to have them believing one thing when it was actually something else. That woman manipulated me because she had me believing one thing and it was actually something else.
And specifically, the one thing she had her believing was it was just going to be Gerald that was going to be on the show, and not Gerald, her brother Steve, her Miss Alice, her mother, and Mr. Steve, her father, that was going to be on the phone and when on the show. And when Monique addressed her, she said, I did not know that they were going to be there until the show was about to go on. Now, ironically, there was a show on, y'all might have seen it, on BET called The Monique Show. And on that show, in which we did 300 shows, we had the opportunity to experience what it is to do a show.
Yes.
A multitude of them. And there's never a time that the host does not know who it is that she's going to be hosting, because that would throw her completely off because she doesn't know the questions to ask. So it was a little disingenuous that she said that she didn't know that they were coming on the show.
Yes.
All right, you guys, so you heard that. Okay, so in this last clip that I'm going to show you, it's actually the most important. In this clip, Monique explains how much she used to look up to Oprah. And she tells a very good story about when she met Oprah before her fame and when she met up with Oprah after her fame, and the way that Oprah treated her. As a fan of Oprah and as a woman of color who looks up to her, I have to say that hearing these things about Oprah, it's very heartbreaking. Check this out.
I met a woman named Shirley Hemphill when I was in the 3rd grade. And I was going to Woodmore Elementary School. Some of you may be too young. Some of you know just what I'm talking about. She was Shirley from What's Happening and then What's Happening Now. But her name was Shirley Hemphill. And I was in the 3rd grade, and that woman came to my elementary school. And I had my legs crossed on our gym floor. And she looked right at me and said, don't you know you can be anything you want to be? And I never forgot that. And that's one of the reasons why I go into the schools, because of that woman right there. Just her words, baby, made me say I can be anything I want to be. So now I meet this woman named Oprah Winfrey, who's in it, being it, and she's doing it. And now I get a chance to go to her show, not the local show, the national show, where everybody, this is all over the world. And after that show, she hugs me, and this was a later Oprah Winfrey hug. This was, and she says, when I look at you, I ain't looking at nobody but me. Now, when we met back up, I had to remind her of what she said to me.
And when did you meet back up?
This is when we were at the Oscar dinner.
Party that they threw for you?
Yes. This was at she came to the Oscar soiree that they gave for me. And then we met again at Alfred Woodard's. And I reminded her of what she said to me. You said when you look at me, you ain't doing nothing but looking at yourself.
And then she says,
I say that to everybody. Well, how could you possibly say that to everybody? And when you say it, do you mean it? Or are you just saying it and it's fraudulent? I don't know which one it is. Because if you say it to everybody, well, you see white men that way, black men that way, black women, white women, Asian women. So you say that to everybody, but that let me know for me, in my humble opinion, I was looking at someone that only says what's necessary.
And when you were looking at who your hero was, when you thought about Shirley Hemphill and Oprah Winfrey when you were on your way up, who was your hero?
Oprah Winfrey.
But when you look at it in retrospect, Who's the hero?
Shirley Hemphill.
Because she did it when no cameras were around.
See, I've met some heroes, Daddy.
Come on.
When no cameras are around. Her name is Susan Taylor.
Who is she? Tell them.
She used to run Essence magazine.
And when she left?
Essence left with her. Because that woman was nothing but love and a class act.
Nothing but.
I've met some sisters, baby. Her name is Valerie Simpson from Ashford and Simpson. Class act, baby. And they come from their heart. Stephanie Mills, from her heart. I've met some real down, Patti LaBelle, real down sisters. Then I met some sisters that make you say, what you doing? And her name is Oprah Winfrey, and her name is Gayle King. See, I got a call from Gayle King one night too. And this is when we first got the Monique show. And Gayle King asked me about 64,000 questions.
After she was a guest?
After she was a guest on the show. Question after question after. So I'm figuring, okay, sis, we sisters. Let me answer what you're asking me. And Monique, if you ever need to talk to me, here's my number. You think she ever picked up that phone? Because I called her back. Because I had to ask her, sis, you asked me a lot of questions. Was there any particular reason why you wanted to know all of this? But she never, ever answered my call. So you got to say to yourself, are we really surprised?
Are we really?
So babies, it's that time, Daddy.
It's that time.
We want to thank y'all for joining us, my loves, because y'all could have been anywhere else today, doing something else, but y'all chose to come and spend your time with us. So we want to thank y'all, baby, and we want you to tell a friend, tell another friend, then y'all tell 10 more friends, and let this thing keep doing what it's doing. And like my daddy says, the mind is like a parachute.
It is no good unless it's open.
We love y'all.
For free.
Mwah.
Take care.
All right, you guys, you saw that. I know those were some very long clips, but I didn't want to shorten it too much because it's very rare that we have somebody in Hollywood tell us the truth, because there's a lot of things in the media controlled by Hollywood and most of it is not true. So I appreciate my girl Monique when she's telling us the truth, especially telling the truth about someone so powerful and influential like Oprah and her best friend Gayle. But all right, y'all, I'm done with this. I want to know what y'all think. What do you guys think about Monique opening up once again about Oprah Winfrey? Let me know what you think. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'm going to catch you in the next one, all right? Bye.